Welcome everyone again to GBELARGUE. Today we are going to be discussing about the Nigerian textile or the Adire textile industry in Nigeria, its current challenges and opportunities. Again, my name is Mobolaji, and with me are Malik and Comrade Ibrahim Adebayo, Lawal. Comrade Lawal, would you like to introduce yourself before we start?
Yes, my name is Comrade Ibrahim Adebayo Lawal. So the sector chairman, National Union of Textile Garment Tailoring Workers of Nigeria, the Kampala sector. Adire sector. So though I started as a designer, so, and I have a background in the weaving industry. So being a designer, I have the opportunity of working with the likes of Labanella, Miss Abba Folawiyo, then Rose of Sharon, Miss Alakija, and the rest of them. So it's when I get to work with Jimmy King, the veteran textile artist, that's where I develop interest in textile designs. So, and the industry, when you talk about textile arts or textile design, it's broad. So in the midst of the textile designers, that's where you find the embroidery arts, Adire, and to clear the impression that the Lagos are not known to be the home of Adire, I think is a wrong impression, because hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of people focus more on Abeokuta, and this is the production site. Abeokuta people are known with indigo. They make use of local dyes to make indigo. Why the people in Osun are known with they call it Osun Osogbo kind of design. So we call it free hands. So the beauty aspect of this design in Lagos is most of the techniques are being imported by the Senegalese and the Gambians.
Really?
And the Guineans.
Okay, can you share a bit more about that? What do you mean the techniques are being imported by the Senegalese and the Guineans?
Yes, Yorubas are known with indigo design.
Yes.
We are more familiar with indigo design. So when we talk about the multicolor designs, like when we talk about batik, you talk about machine works, you talk about Adire, you understand? These are the Senegalese people that brought it here to Lagos.
When did they bring it?
That was about in the early 70s. Early 70s.
Okay.
So no, though we have been practicing the normal Adire, which is the indigo.
Yes.
But when you talk about the colors, the machine work, as time goes on, I will show you the different designs that you can identify with.
Okay.
So we talk about the batik, the Adire, that's the tie and dye, the modern form, and then you talk about the eleko.
Okay.
So, are you with me?
Yes. So actually, before we continue, maybe we can even start with the first question. If you can tell us a bit more about how you came to start working with Adire Kampala, and why you remain working with it.
So the beauty aspect is, if you look at the local dyes, these are fabrics that can easily wash off. If you are putting it on, you can't put white on this. It's gonna stain. So, but with the latest techniques, we realize that with the chemical, with the soda, with the foreign, the sulfite, with the foreign dyes, most of these colors stays forever. Yes. So that's why we adopt the system. That's why we adopt the system. Their style of working.
Okay, so I was asking particularly about your own personal story of Adire. what inspired you to become a textile designer? How did you start as a textile designer, and why do you continue as a textile designer and manufacturer in Nigeria right now?
Yeah, fantastic. Though I was born in the neighborhood where these things are made, but I never gave it a second thought until when I started working with Jimmy King. And I realized that a lot of Westerners appreciate it more than the Nigerians. So he makes a lot of money and he has a lot of staffs. So we are over 25 staffs working for him then. And we twice in a month, we export 40 feet, 20 feet container to the United States. Yeah. So that's when I pick interest in it. And second, when I have the opportunity of attending a diploma course called Cultural Administration, so I realized that there is a different form how we can preserve our motifs. Hello, are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah. So there is a different form how we can, most of the designs that we put on our fabrics, they are not just ordinary designs. They have a storyline.
Yes.
So which relates to African motifs. You can see some designs, they can name it Oloku. These are, the particle, the aquatic kind of motifs that they can find in the ocean to create a design. So whenever you go to an exhibition, an international exhibition, you see why people say, oh, wow, I love this. What inspired you to make this? Tell me the story behind it. So that's what sells. So yeah. So most of the things we produce, they are wearable hats. They are not just ordinary clothes that you just pick up.
And can you tell us a little bit about, it seems that Adire has a primarily Western demand currently. Why do you think that, and Malik, if you want to jump in and say, and ask questions or contribute to the conversation, please, please definitely do. So what is happening with local demand? Why is there no local demand for the textile?
Yeah, there is, but it's not enough compared to Nigerian population. You can imagine if half of Nigerian population can patronize the textile industry. That's a huge market. That's an advantage because we are talking about over 200 million population.
Yes.
Imagine if Adire can be made as a school uniform.
Yes.
Or you can imagine if the Ministry of Culture, the parastatals under Federal Ministry of all the ministries, if they can adopt putting on made in Nigeria clothes twice in a week. So we don't need foreign market if they can comply, if they can patronize us. But as it is, we now realize that if people don't appreciate it at home, we can take it outside and make money for ourselves for forex.
Okay, Comrade Adebayo, I just have a little question for you. The first question is, you said you did a diploma in cultural administration. What institution is that?
National Institute for Cultural Orientation. It's a parastatal under Federal Ministry of Culture and Tourism here in Nigeria.
Where?
You said
which office or which institution did you go? Is it in Lagos or in Abuja or where?
Lagos.
Okay, yeah. I was just wondering about that. But my main question I even wanted to ask is that I will still come back to that later. I'm wondering, you said that the Yoruba Adire, or the Yoruba, what do you call it? Alaro, that's the indigo, that when you wash it, it washes away quickly, or you can't even wear underwear that is white because it will destroy it. I'm just wondering because Yoruba Adire has been one of the major production in pre-colonial time for hundreds of years. And they say practice makes perfection. So I don't know, if you say that it washes away very quickly. Are you trying to say that they've not really been able to, the Yoruba have not been able to develop it further so that as time goes on, it will be more original or something? Because there are written sources that show that they've been exporting some of these things before even we had contact with white men. With the exporting them to Brazil and what they call it for hundreds of years before 19th century. So I'm just wondering, how come? Because if the quality is not that good, I don't think it will have worth exporting. So I don't know. What do you think about that? What are you? Did you say? Did you mean that the Yoruba what they call was declining? Because we know during the 19th, during the colonial period before independence, many things declined about our culture. Do you think it actually declined, or some of the older people that were making the original one died away, and then the young people didn't learn much about it, and they are just producing anything anyhow? How do you mean?
It's it never declined.
Okay.
It's never. There's always improvement. You know, in anything, there's always a transition. There's always a transitional process. So the one we have, that's why I told you that when the Senegalese came around, we now realize that there's another means of making the indigo without washing off.
Yeah, that's my question. Why do you think that the Yoruba own was washing off every time? Because I'm not very sure about this, and I still have to really, maybe you should also, I don't know, maybe the particular one, because of course, anything that has original always have the fake one. So maybe that's the case, because if it washes off, not export it that takes months to arrive with the Atlantic as far as Brazil in pre-colonial time. I don't know, I'm not arguing with you because you are an expert in this case, but I'm just wondering, because it's a little bit questionable that it washes off so easily. Like the way you describe it is like, you know, puts a paint on something, but the procedure was actually more complicated than you actually analyze it right now. Our own, I mean.
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Hello, can I come in?
Yes, please.
Yoruba indigo without soda and sulfites to wash off.
Okay.
To wash off. It would wash off.
Is it an immediate wash off? Is it a progressive wash off? Was there like
progressive?
So I think the question that is being I think he disconnected.
Okay.
Hello, yeah.
Yes. So I think the question that is being asked is that has there been any kind of innovation within the Adire Alaro tradition? Is it basically in Adire Alaro tradition, how do they currently do the dyeing? Is it just with the caustics, the soda ash and the other ingredients, or is there still kind of a tradition that is still looking at how with the local materials there could be, or maybe not? So like, I guess the question is, what is the innovation currently happening in Adire Alaro? Oh, he disconnected again.
Network.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello.
Yes. So I guess just to end the question, I guess the question is really what is happening with Adire Alaro? What is happening with the actual way Yorubas dye?
Okay. Adire Alaro.
Alaro, yes.
There are people that still make use of it. But now we have add qualities to it that you can watch it anytime and it won't go off.
Okay.
That's the present stage that we have now.
Okay. Okay, that's amazing.
But with infusion of Western chemicals,
okay,
to preserve.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So basically, kind of balancing a science with the natural ingredients that are being used to create it.
Yes.
And I don't want to even go so deep into the mechanics of Adire, but one thing that did come out is, so is your Adire producers thinking about the ecological or sustainable impacts or the ecological impacts of the dyeing? Like, are we using primarily natural dyes? Are we using synthetic dyes? Like, tell us a little bit about the actual materials being used to create the Kampalas or the Adire Lekos and or the Adire Alaru.
Hello?
Hello, yes.
Okay. So we are aware, and that's why I find this meeting, it's coming in at the right time, because it's affecting us already. Because most of the companies that produce the chemical dye have been shut down because of ecological problem. So now the little one that has an operation, they are not operating to the full capacity, which is affecting our member. Because the cost of dye is very high now, very, very high. So, and a lot of people cannot even cope. So now, as a chairman, I'm looking at because some of my members have been showing interest that they are ready to learn. That if we can look into a synthetic kind of dye, first and foremost is friendly to the ecological system, and it is cheaper, and it's natural. So we'll be looking into that direction, because most of the people that sell dyes for us always complain that most of the biggest dye company in China have been shut down due to ecological problem. So we are ready to learn.
And are they describing these ecological problems?
Is that,
are they saying what these ecological problems are?
Pollution.
Okay.
Air pollution. Air pollution.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so
air pollution, water pollution, right.
And so they are being shut down because of their impact on the environment. Interesting.
Yes.
And so you are saying that members of the union are very open to begin to kind of doing the researching and learning how to use more natural, but still more natural, more sustainable, more fast dyes.
Yes.
Than is currently on the market.
Yes.
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 So what have you found partners to be able to do this kind of educational process? Like how are you guys thinking of starting this whole education and sourcing process for dyes to support your work?
That has been most of the challenges that we are facing. It's one of the challenges, because when government are not showing any concern in that regard, to upgrade our skill, so nobody is turning up. So even we are trying to tell them that, okay, fine, the production sites where I'm the chairman, where I head, it's we produce a lot from here, where they take to Abeokuta, take to Ibadan markets, and and Abuja and the rest of part of the country. It's because we don't have a stable market where we can market our products. So these places are all turned to a production site. So we've told them that the dye pit in Kano have turned to a tourist site. So why are we lacking behind? So we try to meet all the representatives, the governor, the federal government, they keep posting us until when another election is coming up. That's where you see them coming in to come and campaign.
So what?
So that has been. Hello.
Yeah. So
that has been our challenges. So we are using this platform to call on any NGO that is willing to help in that regard, to train our members, to look into our problem and see how they can resolve it, how they can solve it for us. Because most things in Nigeria is political.
So I guess we should shift a bit. Can you tell us a little bit about the challenges? Because you've mentioned like there's a challenge of material and there's the challenge of skills gap and actually the capacity to do research and be able to engage actively with creating and knowing how to use material. But what are the challenge? And of course, there's the political challenges. So no real support on a political level of leveraging the actual industry, like the tourism value of the industry. What other challenges are you seeing as the chairman of the Kampala sector with the Nigerian textile industry as it manifests in Lagos currently?
Okay, one of the challenges that I observe is the medias are not helping us. So the media, because if you everybody now, a lot of people go to Dubai to buy things from Dubai because of the propaganda and the way the medias have been. Everybody is focusing on Dubai. So a lot of people, Indians are known with their wares. Likewise, Saudis, people go to Saudi to buy. But the medias are not helping us. They are not helping us because if you don't upgrade what you have, nobody's going to promote it for you. So that's why the National Institute for Cultural Orientation, so I have to give it to them because they make it compulsory for all their staff to wear made in Nigeria twice in a week.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a parastatal under Federal Ministry of Culture and Information. Yes. The same thing, the National Orientation Agency. I think they've been doing some kind of adverts on made in Nigeria, but they need to focus on our strengths, which is textile, because we have a lot of. If Nigeria can work to a full capacity, at least we can take 5 million Nigeria out of poverty. Because that's the strength, but they don't really focus on they just generalize it that okay, patronize.
Hello?
The network just froze.
Network froze. Let me call him again. Thank you all for your patience. This is an amazing conversation. And again, hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
You were cut off when it was so juicy. I was like flowing with what you were saying.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So I'm hoping we get back into that flow because this is exactly what.
I receive a lot of calls.
You're a busy man. Yes. Okay.
So the textile industry, at least we contribute 17% to Nigeria GDP. Yes, it used to be like that. But one of a sudden, most of the factories are folding up. As I'm telling you now, Nigeria, we don't have any textile mill that produce Guinea anymore. They're all folded up.
When can you give us a bit of the history of that? When was the last time you remember a fabric mill in Nigeria? When is it, in the 70s, 80s, 90s? Can you give us a little bit of history?
Early 90s. As I'm talking to you now, some of them are still folding up. They have over 10,000 staffs.
And what do you think is it that people are just not buying made in Nigerian textile in Nigeria at all, or even outside of it?
The first problem is power. Power, because they have a lot of machines. So machinery. So power, Then the smuggling of fake fabrics into the system is not. That's what. Hello.
Hello.
Are you with me?
Yes.
So power the smugglers that are bringing fake fabrics into the market. So piracy. Like I told you the last time we had our conversation, that the Chinese used to come to our production site, just buy a piece of fabric, and before you know it, they're turning to Kampala prints. And most of these things are not cottons; they are nylon. They can damage skin. So these are the areas the National Orientation Agency need to look into, to tell the Nigerian populace that this thing is dangerous to your health. But in the Southwest, we do a lot of party, ashwebi. Imagine if people can take Kampala as an ashwebi.
Yes.
They're contributing to the economy.
Yes.
But people still go to the market and buy this fake Chinese fabric for 800 naira and give it out for 3,500 for ashwebi. People are buying it. Number one, they are using, it's expensive because somebody will go to the market and get it 5 years for 1,000 or 800. And they will give it out to people that want to come to their party for 3,500. Does that make sense?
I guess that's a business in itself. So actually, one thing I want to, so you had mentioned to me when we first talked about this idea you had of an oven that would scale the production capacity for at least the corporate, the textile collective you're working with by about 5 times. Can you tell us a bit more about that? And even tell us a bit about the building that you're in? Because, one of the things that made me really excited about our conversation is that even though there are all these problems, there are things that your group have been doing to support, capacity building, to support making sure the textile industry just doesn't die, like building that central place where people can come and buy and access your goods, but also building an oven to increase your capacity for production and making a direct production in, at least in Lagos, not dependent on just weather.
Okay. On the oven, so I called my ESCO. So, we had a meeting to deliberate on what are the things that we really need that can push us forward, that can make us move forward. So, now most of them, which we later agreed on that, what the problem is actually is we need a pool of funds, like how we can give our members a soft loans to increase their production. Because as I'm telling you now, a lot of them are sitting idle, they are not doing anything. It's just a few of us who are privileged to have some money to say, okay, now I want to produce like 50 pieces. I give 10 to this, say, you take 10, you take 10, go on. It's not enough. So these are guys in their early 20s, late 30s. So they have the strength, the energy to work. They want to work. But they don't have the capital. So, and most of the financial institutions in Nigeria, you hear about federal government disburse 50 billion to creative industry. By the time you start processing for all these funds, you won't get it. You won't get it. They make it strict for us in the Southwest here. Maybe because they feel we are learned, but people in the North, some people don't even go to school. They access all this money. You understand? Due to connection and political
So
power.
Why do you think the political leaders in the South are not, talking about this clear disparity in artisans around the country, in the southwest part of the country, being able to, not artisans, creators, manufacturers, designers in the southwest of Nigeria are not able to access these funds that are being dispersed to support the development of local businesses? Why do you think, what are the politicians saying?
The reason is most of the people that smuggle in fabrics, these are billionaires. these are billionaires. They can use their influence. They can use their influence. Because, for instance, the local governments where we belong, we're about 3 of them. We've write them letters several times. They never turn up. They never turn up. They never see any potentials. So the little achievement that I've made so far is a personal effort. So at least I've been able to travel down to South America, and I know how much I make whenever I took my products to Brazil or even South Africa. And most of it, especially another problem is in the past administration, there is a lot of program going on in Nigeria that attracts a lot of tourists. So whenever they come to Nigeria, I don't mind. I can pay 50,000 to get a stand to exhibit my products. People buy in hard currency. A lot of people buy in hard currency. Some of them will still give me card that, okay, if I need your product, you can send it to US. I do that. But that's for only me. Out of, we are talking about 200 members.
Yeah.
So it's not everybody that is computer literate.
So Malik has a question for you.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. Yeah, I find it really very pathetic the way the politics is going. I just wanted to ask the Southwest, the Yoruba, or the Yoruba, the Southwestern, the Yoruba regional politicians. What are they doing about this? Because their colleagues are fighting for their own region in the north, but I've noticed, and as I've always heard, that in the Southwestern region, the politicians seems not to be even be supporting their own people, doing something for their own people. So are there politicians you'll be doing anything for, or you voted in, but has not actually been doing anything for you? And what does it tell you as a people? You vote for somebody, but the person got into power and forget you until probably next election. What are they doing, and what is now your reactions towards it?
Fantastic question. The problem, the challenge is they invest more on hooliganism,
okay.
hoodlums, because they believe that they can use them to manipulate election. So you, without weapons, you are powerless. The only thing is you can vote against them. Once you are voting, somebody just came up and pick up the ballot box. So what is going to happen?
Yeah. Now let me now suggest something, because also whilst we are talking, the Yoruba say Taban Dijuamari, Taban Sokwamari, or something like that. That whilst we are talking about it, we should also reflect on this. How can we come together as a people? Because the hooligans also, they didn't bring hooligans from the north. The hooligans are also people that walk around. Probably some of the people that also work in textiles who don't have money to do anything, and then they just give them like 50,000 naira. And then these people will fight or will be ready to give their own life to destroy their future. And we see the outcome. Whereas these politicians, their own children don't even live in Nigeria, not to talk of going to fight for hooligans. What do you think there's anything community-based that you can organize, or people within your communities can organize, and then begin to say that, okay, we don't want anybody to join these hooligans or something? Is there anything? Because for me, I'm telling you this because I'm doing that for my own local government. I'm from Ekiti State. And within my town, I'm already, last time I went, I did some. I was supposed to do one this year, but this month, but I couldn't because of this corona pandemic. But in December, when I go, I'm going to sit people from my own small town. I'm going to sit them down. And then I'm going to, call the elders. And I'm happy that some of them respect me. They are ready to listen to me. So if it is Shango or Ogun, we are going to put down. Anybody that go and join any politician that will not vote and will go and come and be doing bad things, let Shango strike that person, let the person die. And if anybody is going to be going back to be doing all this, for me, that's how I do my own thing. I have to be practical about it because it's nonsense. Look at people like you and people around you sitting there that are supposed to make something. They will call a few of you, give you 50,000 and destroy their future. You understand?
Yeah.
So high time, we too, because the power, what we don't know is that the power is in our hand. That's one thing we don't know in Nigeria. They will manipulate us against us, and at the end of the day, they will not do what they call it. So for me now, for example, there are some organizations we are starting now that anybody that is going for election, we seek the person that, what do you want to do? And the person will sign. But signature is not enough. We need to begin to put curses. And for me, I don't do this, okay, we should be patient. I'm not patient in that. If it should go, we'll put it there, let the person die. Because I don't understand. It's nonsense.
Okay. So let's get the question. The question is, what are you doing on your community level now?
For me, I use Shango and Ogun, but you, what do you think?
Okay, if maybe you're not using Shango Ogun, what is happening on a community level to actively begin to engage these?
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So, what we have is from my hand, everybody has a style of leadership.
Mm-hmm.
So my style of leadership is empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
We have the skill. So we are trying our possible best to take some youth out of poverty,
mm-hmm.
provide for them,
mm-hmm.
let them come and learn this skill,
mm-hmm.
and at the same time, like for instance, if our union can raise up to 3 million in our purse, and there's a lot we can do with it by training people. Okay, do a cooperative kind of work. Okay, let's produce 1,000 pieces of fabric. So once we sell, you get this, you get that. So whoever we are training, know that there is future.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just train them and push them into the streets. They'll still go back to where they are. So with time, they will know that these are people that truly love them. It's not somebody that will give them money now, and after 4 years, you still call them again. By the time everybody started busy, they know how much they are making. You can't call them. Nobody will respond.
Yeah.
Because people like me now, how much are you going to give me? If you give me, you are just wasting your time. Likewise, other ESCOs that they are doing fine. So, and that's why we said most of these guys that we are talking about, we know them. We grow up together.
Mm-hmm.
We can actually call them, come, let's assist you. Okay, yeah, you go to this person, go and learn this. So once we finish, we'll find a way to integrate you into the system,
mm-hmm.
and you get paid. But most of these, they know that the youth in the Southwest, we have the talents and we have the potentials.
Mm-hmm.
So they're always scared of us. They don't want to empower us because they know that by the time they empower us, they can't use anybody again. So they have a doubt. So that's why they are making the life difficult for people, for most of the youth. So by the time they give you penny, you'll be forced to join them because you don't have choice. And they will tell you that whatever happens, if police get you arrested, they can still free you from this thing. So the problem is poverty. So the only way to fight poverty is train and empower.
Yes. So I wanted to shift a bit into more like opportunity, like what are the opportunities you see? So what I'm hearing is that, there are a lot more young people interested in being a part of the industry. There is a huge amount of, minds and bodies willing to work. What are the opportunities you're seeing, and what are the opportunities you think we collectively have to take advantage of as, a community invested in the sustainability of the Nigerian textile, or the Southwestern, at least at this point, textile industry?
The first and foremost, the labor force. The labor force.
Mm-hmm.
We have the population, we have the energy to work. And secondly, if there are products, you can always talk about where to sell them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know by the time foreign organization is coming in, Nigerians, they like copying. By the time they see that this thing is moving, everybody wants to jump on. Hello?
I hear you, yes.
Yeah. So by the time we start something, you see everybody wants to join and everybody wants to be part of success. So, okay, these people, they are there. People will be in existence here for over 30 years. Nobody talk about here. But by the time they see that things start turning up, everybody wants to be part of the winning team. Even the both local government chairman, they'll say, they are our boys. They are from my community. So most times, like I said, I go to foreign exhibitions, though I've not been opportunity to go to Europe or to the America, but I've been to South America and some part of African countries.
Mm-hmm.
I know how people are, eager to buy Nigerian fabrics.
Huh.
I know.
It's amazing to hear. So for me, all I'm hearing is that it's not even a lack of demand per se, even on a continental level. It's just a lack of strategic support from the people in power, basically.
Yes.
And and for me, it's a huge shock for me because, as you have rightly said, I did not even know Adire was beloved until I left the country. And I would go out of the house just with this, and everyone always asked me, where did you get it from? Where is that? What is that? It's the most beautiful fabric I've ever seen, And so I thought, things were working. But to hear that things aren't really working, it's actually dying as an industry, even with first of all, there isn't really support to get it to the global public that desires it. It's not that easy. But even more, that there isn't really a sensitization around the possibilities of this kind of textiles by its evangelists, who I would call them the Adire evangelists. I encountered Adire initially through. It's really sad. It's a very sad state of affairs. So what
you asked a question. Mm-hmm. You asked a question about the secretariats.
Yes, I want to hear about what you guys are investing in. So are you, like the oven, the secretariat? What are the investments you're making? What are ways people can support you currently with the investments you're making in the cooperative or collective?
Okay. First and foremost, I think we are able to build a new slab for our members. What we call slab is a particular portion where a point, where like a working point for our members. Mm-hmm. So now most of the working points now we can't afford to get a borehole. Mm-hmm. We only dug well for them, and you know how stressful it is before you can fetch the water. And so, assuming we have a borehole in each of the slab, so it will be easy for them to use a lot of water to do whatever they want to do. That's number one. Number two, like I said, like the secretariats, we don't used to have a meeting point. We have a tent. Today, somebody will say, please don't use front of my house. But for now, we are able to secure a space. At least it can contain up to 150 members conveniently.
And this is the space you're in right now, with the beautiful textile behind you.
Let me turn it.
Yes.
See the level where. So these are flex. These are some of my escorts standing. Yeah, you can see the roof.
Yes.
So can you see the flex?
I can see. Yeah. Okay. I can see.
So at least conveniently, when it rains, when it suns, we have our meeting.
That's beautiful. And when did you put this up?
We started 2 years ago.
Okay.
But the pandemic, the corona caused a lot of things because everybody is idle, the market is not moving, there is no money because most of the there's a particular dues. People pay dues, to achieve all this.
Yeah.
So if they are not working, you can't force them. That's why most of the projects we have at hand got stopped. So, like I told you, we can welcome any investors. That's really whatever they put on ground. We know a credit. Most of our members are credible. And we know the credible ones that we can give loans to, like a soft loans that we can use as a turnover to run the business. Okay, you take this 500,000, go and start something with it. By the time you know it, we can have a central where whatever you do, bring it down. We know how to market for you.
Yes.
So before you know it, we have a lodge to sell. So when I say exhibition is in Germany, Mr. Malik can invite us to come and sell our products.
Yeah.
So the people in Canada can invite us to come and sell our products.
Yeah.
So we always look for a place to sell when you have the products available.
Okay.
And we make sure that there will be a standard that we can say, okay, so anything that's coming from us, you know that we can assure you that you are getting the original.
Yes. Malik, do you have any questions?
Well, I just wanted to ask, Ken, do you where is do you have an office there in Lagos, where a virtual office where one can meet with you? And yeah, that is the question, number one question. Number two question, you say you can supply if one, because I'm, you are saying now, but that will be later. I will have to make inquiries before I can confirm that. But you have an office where one can contact you, and maybe I'll probably get your contact after this, what do you call it, this meeting, and then I can, yeah, I can see what I can, but for myself, I also want to see the place, see what you are doing so far. And yeah, I'm not promising anything because I don't have an account. I don't, yeah.
Oh, no. I think
I
what
also spread you a little bit.
yeah.
That I do.
I think what would be important is, you know, spreading the message, but also inviting people to come down and kind of see the work so they can like live it, you know. And also yeah, so people coming down see it, but also for me, what is important is what are the systems that are needed? What is the infrastructure that is needed for you to succeed or for your collective to succeed? Because it doesn't even matter if there's a lot more dye and there's a lot more, you know, people willing to work. If there are no systems to allow easy movement of adire from Nigeria to, let's say, Germany, or Nigeria to Kenya, where demand is, it's also, or even from like Lagos to Kano, as you said, like just having the systems that make sure that not only is production happening at a great capacity, also the way of distributing and making sure that it gets into the hands that desire it is working well also.
But you can provide regular supply for somebody who needs maybe some yards for one thing or the other. You already said it, so that's not a problem. I will try to get your contact about.
He got cut off. I'm calling him again. He got cut off. So I was talking to Air. I was really enjoying that statement I was making. I was like my little plug. I'm a systems girl. Hello?
Hello, yeah, sorry.
So it's like you missed the last thing I said. Anyway, all I was talking about was like systems that support you, not only in just growing your businesses, but making sure that what you're creating is getting into the hands of the people who actually really desire the textile.
Yes.
So,
and I wanted to choose in something. Mr. Malik, the Ekiti State government.
Yeah.
We've met with the Director General of State Art and Culture. That's Ambassador Wale Ojolanre.
Okay.
Do you know him?
No, unfortunately, no. I've only heard the name, but I don't know him. Because for me, myself, I've not had much contact. It's now that I'm trying to establish contacts with them gradually.
Okay. So we've met him. You know, they invite us to the Ekiti State Secretariat that we are going to train 1,500 Ekiti youths on textile making.
Nice.
Yes. So just to show that we are not being stagnant, we are moving around to see how we can impact other people's lives.
So we have about 5 more minutes for the conversation. Is there any other, Comrade Lawal, are there like some points that you really want to make sure get out to the public before we end the conversation that we haven't yet touched on?
Okay, the point is like what I said. The industry has a lot of potentials. So we are open to investors, whoever is willing to help. There is a lot of youths that are jobless and who are very creative when you talk about textile designs. So at the same time, we are open to any conference, any international conference or seminars, workshop that they can, a textile that they can invite our members. If you can see somebody that can sponsor 1 or 2 members to abroad to go and learn more skills about textile, especially in the synthetic dye, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
We appreciate.
Yeah, and I think it's even less because synthetic. I feel it's not like it's not a word that people are I feel like, do you mean more just like dyes that are natural but still have some kind of scientific science, like basically it's kind of a process of research and creating dyes that are kind of taking a balance between like it's sustainable and it's ecological, but it also has it also is not harmful to the human body.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no, I feel like that would be amazing opportunities to talk, to kind of connect with. So what I want to say is actually I was reading something about the Bangladeshi textile industry, and right now they're shifting. So they're currently the second largest textile exporters in the world, and it started in the 70s. And right now, but there's been a lot of course, being the second largest means that you've also seen the worst of the world, especially in this time when people have been rapidly consuming. And so one of the things I read is that the Bangladeshi textile industry is also beginning to think, at least some of the players are beginning to think about sustainability. And so even having a kind of, maybe a cohort of textile designers and manufacturers from emerging markets coming together and sharing knowledge of how can we leverage our strength in textile, but also contribute to the conversation around ecology and sustainability, because we have everything to really do that. It's just, as you said, the capacity of knowledge, capacity of resources, capacity of creativity, you know, focused on that industry. Because 17% of Nigeria's exports used to be from textile. That is amazing. That is a resource that can be used to, as you said, create jobs, create wealth, which at least I am, and I'm sure Malik are really passionate about, like how can we increase more wealth in our communities, and not just money, but just like having good lives, good schools, good homes, good beautiful cultural, you know, like lives and experiences, like thriving, because in the end, I love Adire because I think it's the most beautiful textile. But even more, it means that if I'm buying Adire, I'm investing into my own community. I'm investing into creativity and creators from my community. I'm saying that I believe in you, I believe in your vision, and I believe in what you have to offer to the world.
Additionally, I just wanted to ask and let you know there is a woman called Adiola Fayeun. She has a live show that she always does every week or every now and then. Maybe if you're able to contact her. Her name is Adiola Fayeun on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter.
I will share you on her information. She's on Facebook.
Yeah, so she can also, because she has a lot of followers, she always has probably millions, maybe up to 500,000 or more. So people like this can also mention your name or your group, and then probably from there you can also see more patronizers, and also probably somebody who can promote you and somebody who can have money. And there's also another woman that is called Aisha something Akpoti. Aisha Akpoti. She's from Kogi State. She's a very, very wealthy woman. Maybe she can also help you. She doesn't respond when I send her a message, but maybe she can respond to you. So, hello?
Aisha Akpoti.
Aisha Akpoti, 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 from, she's from Kogi State. I think she even tried to be senator or something like that recently, and she didn't win. She also does a lot of giveaway. So these are people that you can actually probably contact, that you are, you know, concerning promoters and something like that. Maybe if she's not even sure about it, she might want to come and see it by herself or send somebody. And this I know that this is not a, what do you call it, because this is very practical. You show what you are doing. So it's very, very good move.
Yeah, and I also, like, it's important to reach out to media. But I also think it's important to also kind of research and see what resources are present to support. So, for example, even in just my little research, I found that there are actually organizations that are doing research around biological dyes or ecological dyes. So how can find opportunities to collaborate, because I also feel like there is attention is important, but also strategic attention is important, because it's not like Adire industry is lacking of attention, and that's the point we're saying. It's just lacking of kind of a strategic move to support its capacity building. So that it's able to not just produce as an artisanal product, but an actual living day-by-day textile. So the textile we dress ourselves in to run to the store, the textiles we use to make our settees, the textiles we use to beautify, to do our, school uniforms. How can we get those more strategically in play? Because right now, Adire is considered artisanal more, at least that's how I understand it. It's not like something that, like, even if it's a global store like ASOS shows Adire, it's still like a very special thing, which it is a very special thing. But I think that the real value comes when a person thinks about, oh, I need to get a suit for work. I can use Adire fabric for my suit. So hopefully there's also that strategic partnership and collaboration that is happening to support building the systems that I am seeing the Nigerian textile is in need of.
Yeah, and finally, I would just suggest to Mr. Lawal to not give up on the government, because government actually do a lot. And if possible also, some of you should also participate in government, like becoming chancellor, like becoming, chairman or something. Because it's also good you have connection with this, because government can also be a kind of live or permanent influence on the your influence can be permanent when it comes to government. For example, if you can encourage government, for example, there is some states in Ghana, for example, whereby their secondary schools once or twice a week they must wear a native wear, which is called a kente. So every student must wear kente. And what does it say? If students are wearing kente in the whole state, once or twice a week, it's a market, it's a permanent market for kente producer in that state. So Nigeria, we all need to begin to make a move. But some of you can also participate in government, like you, that you have voice, like you have followers. There's no way you want to be chancellor or something that you will not be able to. So my point is that some of you should also join political parties, see what you can do, see how you can influence it in one way or the other. Because it's fight. This one now, no be joke. It's fight now. You really need to make an effort. So I'm just
it's not. Okay, so Miss Comrade Lawal, do you want to say, I want your voice to be the final one we hear before we say goodbye. So
please permit me to introduce some of my members.
Thank you.
Without them, I can't do it all alone.
Awesome.
This Comrade Ibrahim Mumin. So
lovely to meet you.
Thank you. Very welcome.
Lovely to meet you. I hope you enjoyed our conversation, and it would be great to meet you. We didn't know you were here. Lovely to meet you. Do you have something to say? Even
so,
just
okay.
Just like what my chairman have already said before, all we need is a strengthened way of making the fabric of the industry more to have more growth in the land. Now they can recognize and authenticate Lagos State. This is where everything is coming out. This is where Adire is coming out to the whole Africa. And if Lagos State is being set aside without recognition on Adire Kampala, there is nowhere in Africa, in Nigeria, that produce the largest and the multitude Adire in Nigeria, apart from Lagos State. That is where we are coming in. And we need support from every other angles that can come in and help us in bringing things up for us in Lagos State. Because without us, there is no Abeokuta. Without us, there is no Kano. Without us, there is no Ibadan. Without us, there is no Congo. Without us, there is no Kenya. That is one thing that I know about.